Yeah guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna test out the FISHMAN Fluence Classic. This pickup, it's about 7 years old. It's quite old. I've had this on my guitars for years already, but today I've decided to actually do a little review. This is an active pickup that runs on a 9-volt battery. You can actually opt for a rechargeable battery with a USB charger that gives you, for an hour-and-a-half charge, gives you about 200 hours worth of playing. The two sounds that you get from here, or the two voices that you get from this pickup, would be PAF for the voice number one. Voice number two would be more of a hot-rodded sound. That's for the bridge pickup. For the nose, for the not nose pickup, the neck pickup would be a more like a boosted sound. This is this pickup's constructed by printed circuit boards, which actually mimics coils, and it's actually stacked up, and because of that, it's very consistent in the sense of how pickups are like when it's traditionally wound. One pickup from one model for pickup may sound different from the other, mainly because of how it's wound. There could be a bit of discrepancy in that. While by manufacturing this way, it's actually very consistent. So what I'm trying to say is how you would hear it here. If you're using my same amp and setup, you will actually sound the same with your guitar back home. Let's not talk about tone woods, but when it comes to pickups, okay, so it's a very consistent in that sense. So let's test it out real quick. I'm using the same thing, the HD1R Black Star HD1R head with the 112 cab. The setup, the dials are done the same way as my earlier videos, so you could use this as a comparison. Using the overdriven sound, I'm using the like the prototype blues breaker type pedal. For the A and B, we'll be testing against a traditional 490, 498 pickup guitar. So on a Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul passive pickup. So for that, I'm using a line selector, Boss line selector LS2 for that. Okay, so let's hear the sounds that you get from the FISHMAN Fluence pickup guitar. Let me move this real quick. For the clean sound, voice one, the neck pickup. That's voice two. Very punchy sounding on voice one. A bit more richer sounding, not so much more punchy. Okay, let's try with both middle position, both pickups, both voice ones. Both on voice 2. You can actually hear it be a bit more warmer when both in voice 2. Okay, so now let's move to the neck pickup. Voice 2. So one thing that I actually mentioned is how this, like, you know, usually when you set up a amp, it's either for the neck or it's for the bridge pickup. There's always some form of biases in it when you actually do it. So sometimes it gets to a point where it sounds decent or good on a neck pickup, but when you go to the bridge pickup, it's too high, or vice versa. When you set up for the bridge pickup, it's too high, too low or too womanly voice for the neck pickup. When I say womanly, it's too warm or too woomy, not womanly as in naggy. Okay, so well, this one apparently with this pickup coming back, we digress. Coming back to this. It sounds decent enough on the bridge, on the clean sound. So let's move to the overdriven sound. We're going to start off with the neck pickup, voice 1 for both. Try a middle pickup, both on voice 1. Next gonna be voice 1, voice 2. Well, the bridge is gonna be voice 1. Both voice 2. bridge pickup, both it's running on voice 1. Quick, let's test out the, let's compare it with the traditional Les Paul with the standard passive pickups, the 490 or 498 pickup. That's the neck. That's a bridge pickup. Let's give this a go. A lot more punchier sounding on the FISHMAN. Let's try the middle sound. Okay, let's move to the FISHMAN middle pickup. A lot more punchier, as I said. Let's try the sound, both on voice 2. Okay, we'll move to the neck pickup for the okay. Try neck pickup. let's move to the Les Paul with the passive pickup, where they were saying how the Fluence have the advantage of it having the so-called middle ground tonally when between the neck and the bridge pickup. Let's hear how it sounds like. We'll do a comparison. Move to the yes, you can actually hear the difference. This one would be more neutral sounding, whereas this one I felt that it has more, the bias for the amp setting was meant more for the bridge, for the neck pickup. So cool. So they've actually achieved what they wanted to achieve, but is that a good thing? Okay, so real quick, let's talk about the advantages. Number one, there's no noise being an active pickup. Noise is a problem if you're playing in an unfamiliar place or you're gigging in a live setting. Sometimes the place is the electricity there, it's a bit bad. There's basically noise will be there, and your guitar would be will have problems. You might need to change position while trying to avoid noise or trying to stop noise. So the advantage of the passive pickup, active pickup, is you do not have that problem. Next would be the treble bleed. How it cleans up so easily without sounding muddy. That's one advantage of it. You can actually set up your amps for it to break out, and when you want to be clean, just low down the volume and without any tonal without losing a lot of the high frequencies when you do that with a normal passive pickup. Okay. Next thing would be the consistent sound. So this is where, when I say consistent sound, in the sense that you can actually move this pickup to another Les Paul that you have, and basically you don't have to worry. Well, that's not what I want to say. Basically, when it comes to consistent pickups, is you can actually get another pickup, this particular model, and it will sound the same if you were to put it on the guitar, well, with the same scale length. I mean, let's not talk about tone wood. That's another can of worms that you can actually, it's actually a whole different thing that you can get into. But when it comes to pickups, basically with the same scale length, the guitar, the same construction, mainly the guitar would actually sound very similar. So that's one cool thing that you can actually have when you could actually spend lots of money on a like a custom wound pickup, and when you finally get it, it does not sound as good as you think it is. Not because it is the way it is, it's just that it's not maybe that particular pickup that you bought is not the good sounding one. So you don't have that problem with this pickup, being how it's constructed. Next is, yes, this guitar sounds different. PAF sounding, as I mentioned earlier, did I? Or I did not? Well, if I did not, the PAF are supposed to mimic the sound of a P90 without the hum. So P90, if you know, it's more of like a fatter version of a single coil. So a P90 sounding guitar with how the invasion, how the PAF is supposed to sound without the hum. Okay, I'm repeating myself. Okay. Now you have to bear in mind that PAFs 57, 58, 59, somewhere around there. I'm not, yeah, around there, 58, 59. Overdriven sounding guitars are not popular, or it has not dawned to them yet. Mainly these pickups were meant to be used on a clean sounding. So people were not, that's what it was not actually built for that, but then someone found out that with the overdriven sound it would sound good. That's one thing. It sounds different. It's a bit, well, I would say maybe it will sound like a Les Paul with a P90 on it, but I wouldn't go as far as that for the moment, because I have not actually tested that. But it does sound different from how my Les Paul with the with the passive pickup sound like. So that's advantage. Okay, let's talk about a disadvantage. Number one is the battery. Okay, now when you talk about batteries, especially when you're gigging, you're playing out, you're playing live, you have lots of things to worry about. Your amps, where are you going to get your power source, your pedals, is everything working? Having this is another thing that you have to worry about. Oh, that's the car, not the car, sorry. Whether the guitar have enough power, there's a battery charged, and being how I have it, as in like it's a 9-volt battery, it's either I change the battery just to play it safe. I might just change and put a fresh pair of a fresh battery in, and not wait until the battery actually dies off. I don't want that to happen if you're to play when it happens when you're playing on stage. But you can actually overcome that with the rechargeable battery. As I said, it takes over this cavity cover, remove it, put in a USB charger into it. 1 hour, 1.5 hours gets you 2 hours worth of playing. You can actually do that, and the beauty of that is you could top up the power, in the sense that it says it's 200 hours. You might be playing for maybe 50 hours and you just want to be safe. You could just top up the battery by charging it and then go for your gig. So that is a disadvantage. That is not much a disadvantage that can be fixed, but for me it's a disadvantage because I'm using a 9-volt battery. Next would be the fact that it's actually difficult to swap. When you are putting this system in it, you're committed to it. It's not just a matter of just removing the pickups, whereas when you talk about passive pickups, you can actually just change from one pickup to another pickup and not worry about anything else. But this one is actually a whole system that you need to change, so you don't have that flexibility of changing sound. Next would be the gripe that I have is the lack of apparent or noticeable difference. There is a noticeable difference between between voice 1 and voice 2. There is a difference, but it's something that it's apparent enough. It's not you know, contrast. It's not different enough for it to be really noticeable. It could be attributed to a different attack or different picking style. Maybe did I mention it that, you know, it's a matter of where you pick. You know, it could be akin to that, but no doubt the sound does pop out. As I said, I love the clean sound that you get on this. It's actually something that I really like, especially when you're playing, you know, finger style guitar music on a guitar like this. So my recommendation, would I fit it on my guitar? If you are watching this and wondering whether should I go get it, my answer would be yes, if you have more than one Les Pauls. Okay, you know, in the sense that to me, this guitar does not sound like your typical Les Paul. When I think about Les Paul, I think of a thick, sounding, plush sounding guitar that you get from the Les Paul's humbuckers. All right. Whereas this one would be, as I mentioned earlier, would be more like a hot-rodded single coil. Whereas the Les Paul, it does not actually sound humbuckerish enough for me to actually, you know, consider that to be a Les Paul sound. However, you could actually boil down to the lack of sophistication that I have in my ears. Maybe I have not been playing enough vintage guitars for me to, you know, to appreciate this sound. Yes, as I said, I love it, but if I were thinking of a Les Paul sound, I would think more of the traditional passive pickup they have on a Les Paul. No doubt you can tweak the amps, you can do whatever you want to actually compensate for that, or try to mimic whatever sound that you want to get. But having said that, I'm referring this based on what setup I have, which is this Black Star single watt Black Star and the single 12-inch speaker. Other than that, that's it. I've had this for a long time. I'm not planning to take it out. I'm planning to keep it in here. I love the sound. If I were to go to if I require more of a heavy, overdriven sound, I will actually pick this, the 490s, or even my Slash L Nico 2 pickups for that. But for this, it's a different sort of guitar. I will keep it because I'm fortunate enough to have more than one Les Paul. So guys, I hope this has been it's a bit long-winded. I hope I've actually put a point across, and please comment. I'm sure I made a ton of mistakes. I've got my facts wrong, you know, I'm sure. Please correct me. Please comment, like, or if you don't like it, you could actually dislike. But when you press the dislike button, press it twice, okay? Click it twice. And subscribe if you haven't. And thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care.